You there. Stop. Don't move. And what, Pratel, are you doing in my home? Oh, what? A sudden loss for words? Well, you didn't seem to have a lot of trouble making noise. Quite loud, obnoxious noise, mind you, with your friends a moment ago around the lower levels until Annie caught sight of you. Told me. You do realize that this place is owned, right? Mm-hmm. I see. Well, I hate to break it to you, but just because a place doesn't seem to have a lot of activity that you can see during the day doesn't mean that there's nobody here. Some of us are more night owls. Mm-hmm. Oh, come on. You can breathe. Can relax. I'm not going to hurt you. Just ticked off is all. Come on. Come with me. You're here, so you might as well sit for a little bit while I decide on whether or not I should do anything. Call the police, or just send you on your way. Come on. Standing down here isn't going to do you any favors. Might as well come up by the fire where it's nice and warm. Okay? Good. Comfortable? All right. Annie, can you please? Thank you. Look, I don't know what it is that fascinates you guys so much, but the neighborhood really needs to stop with the whole legends of my home. Okay? This isn't an abandoned mansion with overgrown trees and foresty, foliage everywhere. You guys came in, broken technically. You know that this place is well kept up? Wouldn't you assume that somebody lives here? Wouldn't you assume that at least somebody is paying for consistent maintenance of this place? Mm. Again, I'm not going to hurt you. So unclench your jaw. Relax. Take a deep breath. Annie is going to get us some tea, some water, coffee. We'll wait. No problem. So tell me, which one was it this time? Which legend, which creepy story did you hear to feel it was necessary to come to my home that was presumed to be abandoned? I see. Oh, yep. The heartbroken vampire is definitely one of the more common ones, especially those who've seen me move out and about at night. The creeps. Well, you have a home, right? Imagine somebody looking at your house in the middle of the night, watching you turn on the lights on and turn the lights off whenever you enter or exit a room of your own home. Doesn't that sound creepy to you? I'm glad you think so. Well, they're not fully wrong. But this is really not helpful, considering how many times kids have tried to break in and, well, have broken in, like you and your friends. Speaking of, where are they? Poor thing. They probably deserted you, thought you were going to be dead. Or, bitten by the vampire who runs the mansion and her servants with an iron fist. Oh, yeah. Like I said, I've heard them all. It's not as deep as people think. I'm just a night person. That's all. Yes. Last time I checked, I myself haven't gotten bitten by a vampire. And I haven't felt the need to drink people's blood. Surprisingly. No, I'm just an insomniac whose work allows her to do things whenever she pleases, as long as the deadline is due, which is usually at night. And that's why I'm usually up at night. Mm-hmm. You mean people would want to meet me in a mansion type place that looks like it was pulled right out of the Victorian era and assume or not assume that I'm a vampire? Look, I know exactly what this kind of place is. I've tried. But it's better that they don't understand, I think. At the end of the day, I will happily continue to be this town's mystery. But seriously, breaking into my home is not okay. Good. I would hope you wouldn't. So, before we do anything else, before I figure out whether or not to call the cops or let you go, what is your name? What is your name? It's not that difficult, is it? I don't think you're in much of a position to ask questions. But if you must know, it's so I know how to address you. Mm-hmm. Formalities. And also just small talk, common courtesy. What is your name? Lovely name. I'm Kiara. Likewise, I suppose, under these circumstances. Huh? Well, believe it or not, you're not the only ones who have broken into my house before. Others have. And either Annie's chased them out, I've chased them out, or one of my pets have. They're all asleep right now. Oh, you do not underestimate Annie. She may be, sweet, calm, diminutive in her own ways. But she is tasked to protect this place, to watch over everything, like me and with me. And she doesn't ask questions. She shoots first. She never misses. Yes, well, that's what they get for breaking into my home. So tell me, why were you and your friends here? A dare? Really? That is ridiculous. But I suppose nowadays people just want to prove themselves to anybody. Is that right? Hmm. Huh? Well, I just find it fascinating and funny. If there's any urban legend that decides to run rampant and becomes out of hand, of course I'll talk to somebody. And so far, any caution has been deemed unnecessary. Through my own investigation, of course. I don't always trust the officials around here. They won't always understand anyway. Exactly. Hmm? Now, why would I do that? Look at me. Do I look like a vampire to you? Someone who consumes other people's blood on a regular basis? Exactly. Apology accepted. And since you have me here, do you have anything you wish to ask? Mm-hmm. I strongly believe that the origins of this whole legend of the haunted mansion, the cursed home of, I think it definitely has to do with what you said. Silence, curiousness, and not a lot of people have seen me out and about. Exactly. Lots of strange people. But you should never judge a book by its cover, shall you? Or should you? Exactly. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I think you deserve at least one question about me. Well, that's a tough one that I cannot answer, I'm sorry. And you should never ask a woman for her age. It's alright, just don't do it again. There's no need for you to know how old I am. Nope, not younger. Yes, but that's as far as I will go on the subject. Huh? Do you really think that those rumors are true? The fact that I'm a vampire or something, and my home hosts vampires and masquerades and everything like the fantasy worlds that people love to make up. I'm looking at Twilight. No, there's not that at all, especially masquerades. Yes, I do not house vampires. Yes, so you can tell your friends to check that off the list. Good. Now look, it's getting late, and I know that you probably have things to do later, in the morning or tomorrow at some point. So what I'll do is I'll let you go. Under the terms, yes, sit back down. Under the terms that you should do your best to discourage any more breaking and enterings of my home. I have yet to call the police on people, save for one individual. Yes. It's quite obnoxious, quite difficult, not very fun. Of course. Yes. If I'm around or awake, and Annie seems to be nice enough and gracious enough to let you visit, then I'm sure a little bit of your company would be fine. In small doses. Good. Well, on your way then. I have things to do, people to talk to, and I was about to before I got so rudely interrupted by you and your friends. Well, for you, 'tis forgiven. Who's in that picture doesn't matter. I think it's time for you to leave. Again, should you wish to visit again at some point, and Annie seems to be in a gracious mood, then yes, you and only you, unless you bring a friend that is trustworthy, only you are allowed to come visit, should you wish to. Although I don't recommend doing it much. I'm not home a lot. Good. And it will show you out. Although I'm sure you know where the front door is. And, I'm sorry, I have no idea who you're talking about. And as for the person in the picture, don't think that's of concern. It's okay. Well, I may or may not see you again. But, for what it's worth, even under the circumstances, it was nice meeting you. Likewise. And thank you. Maybe I'll see you later. But for now, goodbye.